can come back and have another trip someday. I certainly hope that I can come along. I'm looking forward.
Any cricket ambitions left? I suppose you're out to beat all Jack Hobbs records.
No, I've never started out to break any records. I've always tried to do the best I can for the team that I'm playing for. If they want me to go in and lose my wicket so that they can win the match, well, I'll be quite happy to do so. On the other
Australia
hand, if
between
they
the
want me to
walls.
get runs,
Sir
then I'll
Donald
try and get as
Bradman.
many runs as I
Born in
possibly can.
Cootamundra, but
And
raised
if
in
in
Barrel,
getting
where the
those runs
Bradman
I should
Museum
happen to
and
break
Bradman
any
Oval are
record,
sited.
well,
He was
naturally,
noted as a
I'm
youth for
very
his
pleased,
obsessive
but I do not
practice,
deliberately
other
set
than
out
hitting a ball
to try and
repeatedly
break
against a
records.
wall using only a cricket stump.
Regards Jack Hobbs, I think he
Bradman
has built up
dedicated
a
himself to
wonderful
cricket,
record
playing for
that will
local
probably
sides
stand
before
for all
attracting sufficient
time,
attention
and no
to be drafted
Australian will
in
ever
grade
beat
cricket
his
in
figures
Sydney at the age of
because
18.
they don't play
Within a
sufficient
year, he
cricket
was
to do
representing New
so.
South Wales,
In
and
any
within
case,
3, he had
he
made
is
his
a
Test
wonderful
debut.
cricketer, and his record will probably
Possessing a
stand for
great
all time.
stillness whilst awaiting
But
the delivery,
records or no
Bradman's
records,
shot was based
I'm
on a
looking forward to the
combination of
time when I
excellent
can
vision,
come back again to
speed of
England,
both thought
which
and
I'm hoping
footwork,
to
and a
do
decisive,
someday,
powerful bat motion,
and renew
with a pronounced
acquaintances
follow-through.
with all the many friends I
Bradman's
have
play
made
was almost
on this
flawless,
tour over
strong
here.
on both sides of the wicket, with only his sternest critics noting a tendency for his backlift to be slightly angled toward the slip cordon. Bradman continued to dominate world cricket throughout the 1930s, and is credited with raising the spirit of a nation suffering under the effects of the economic depression until war intervened.
That's a good shot, Mr. Bradman.
Over an
Yes,
international
yes,
career
practice.
spanning nearly 20 years from 1930 to 1948, Bradman's statistical achievements were unparalleled.
Illustrate a
He
few
broke
little
scoring
stats for you,
records
eh?
for both first-class and Test cricket. His highest international score, 334
Now,
runs,
first of
stood
all,
for decades as the
you
highest
want to
ever
know
Test
your
score by an
defensive shot.
Australian.
You take your back defensive play, your back defensive shot, play that way.
Bradman was beginning to become a significant figure not only in the sporting domain but also on the international scene. Australia itself was still finding its place in the world. It was a comparatively young nation compared to the rest of the world, and while it managed to escape the First World War with some heavy casualties and a newly established national character, it now faced the Great Depression. During the Depression, the majority of the Australian public were without food, jobs, and even homes. Every day was a constant struggle for them. It was a period of severe hardships, and as a result, many of them turned their attention to sport to take their minds off the situations. Cricket in particular has always been a sport for which Australians have felt deep affection. Even before the separate colonies of Australia were united by federation and recognised as a nation, there was an Australian cricket team. In 1882, the first Australian cricket team travelled to England, the birthplace of modern cricket, where they defeated the English cricket team. This simple victory in a game of cricket against their motherland instilled a great amount of national pride in Australians. In much in the same way as that game of cricket had done in 1882, the heroic abilities of Bradman during the 1930s boosted the moral of society and renewed their sense of national pride. Ordinary people could escape the worries of their daily lives by immersing themselves in stories of Bradman's heroic sporting feats. As a result, he was often described by others at the time as a bright star, owing to the way he inspired people, even in the most desolate of times. In 1948, Bradman entered the cricket oval to bat in what would be his last Test match before retirement. Earlier in the series he had scored 173 runs on the final day, allowing Australia to retain the Ashes. He needed to score only 4 runs in his last match to bring his career's Test match batting average to 100 exactly. In a surprising anticlimax, Bradman was out for a duck, scoring not a single run. However, nothing could diminish the support of the public for this cricketing great who still managed to record an astonishing personal Test match average of 99.94 runs. Still to this day, there is not a single first-class batsman in the world who has ever come close to surpassing this record. In 1949, Bradman was awarded the status of Knight Bachelor, and in 1979 he was honoured with what is now Australia's highest civil award, a Companion of the Order of Australia. Bradman passed away in 2001 at 92 years of age, and was inducted into the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame 5 years after his death. Even after Bradman had retired from cricket, he is still being recognised for his contributions not only as a sporting hero, but also as an inspirational figure worldwide, and this is why I chose Donald Bradman for this movie.